Okay, hi everyone. This is my last video on your midterm, but I did want to go over what you will see as the answer sheet as well as the prompt for the writing section. I don't want you to get too stressed out about the writing section because I know that students hear essay and documents and then they really get panicked. But I'd like to break it down for you, and these are the things that we've been doing all year. So if you're saying, well, Miss Hayek, you haven't been here all year, these are things that we definitely did before I left and skills that I know that you have. So I don't want you to get too panicked. All right, what you're looking at on your screen is just your basic Scantron that you have seen all year. So when you go into your midterm exam, you are going to get this scan sheet that the first thing at the top will be your answer sheet where you will bubble your multiple choice questions. You are not going to write on the packet, and you'll want to definitely make sure that right up here your correct name is on it, your name. Again, for your midterms, you could be tested by someone that doesn't know you. So please speak up if you have an answer sheet that is not yours. All right, so you have your 80 multiple choice questions. I went over how to break those down in the last video, but now we're going to come down to part 2A. Using documents 1 to 9 on pages 14 to 16 of your exam book, complete the graphic organizer below. Surprise, surprise, we're making you do a chart. You guys do charts all the time to organize your information. Assemble evidence from each of the documents that responds to the questions below. Your responses should be legible. We should be able to read them, but do not need to be in complete sentences. This is great. This means that in these boxes here, you need to write so we can read it, and you can also bullet point. Now, we have taken off what the exact prompt will be, but I want you to be familiar with what you'll be looking at going into the exam. So you'll get some historical context. It will say something like, throughout history, blah, 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 blah. Why and how are the answers that you need to be, or are the questions you need to be answering? All right. So let's pretend your prompt would say something like, throughout history, people have rebelled against their governments. This is not the actual prompt that you will get on the midterm, but it could be something. All of the documents you'll be reading, 1 through 3, 4 through 6, and 7 through 9, will deal with answering this question that you are given. So, what you will be doing for the purposes of this chart is looking at what's in common between documents 1 through 3 in answering this why and how question. What's in common in 4 through 6 in answering the why and how. Same thing through 7 through 9. Now let's go back to my example saying throughout history people have rebelled against their governments, right? That's not the question you're going to have on the midterm, but we're just doing it to practice. So maybe documents 1 through 3 would deal with the French Revolution. Why did people rebel against their governments? How did people rebel against their governments? If this is the French Revolution, well, why did people rebel? They're angry with their government. They feel as though their government is abusing them economically. The third estate needs to pay all that money. All the taxes. No one else has to pay taxes, and the third estate has no representation. How did they rebel against their government? Violent revolt, storming the Bastille, women are involved, the terror, guillotining, using the press, whatever. So you're going to bullet point that out there. I would recommend that you also put in parentheses the document that you pull the information from. I think that's helpful. You'll do the same for documents 4 through 6 and then 7 through 9. This is the first part of your writing section. Again, you're going to pull the information from the documents and bullet point it out. The second part is you're going to use the information from the documents and your knowledge of history, answer the questions that follow each document in part A. Answers to the questions will help you write part B. So really, the answers to the questions in part A deal with your chart. And then you're going to write an essay for part B. It should be an essay, a short essay. You have a limited amount of time. So you're going to choose 2 of something and then explain why and discuss how. This goes back to here. In your essay, you needed to complete the graphic organizer. You need to answer these questions. Use information from 4 of the documents. You do not need to use information from all 9. And you're going to include any outside information and then use facts, examples, and details. So many students don't like writing sections, but your writing section is your opportunity to prove that you have learned something and that you know something about the topic. So you do want to draw information from the documents, but also include information that you know. Let's say this blank was choose 2 ways that people rebelled against their government. And for each, explain why people rebelled against their government and how the rebellion influenced people, society, or a region. So you'd go back, you'd look at the documents, you'd explain why people rebelled, how they rebelled, how it influenced a region or a society or a people, how it influenced a specific place. So your writing section, if you understand these directions, basically, you will know how to do it because you're given the information in the documents. So this is the last portion of your midterm exam. And if you have any questions on how to complete this or if this seems confusing, especially with the blanks, please go ahead, ask Mr. Lummel first. Mr. Lummel has put together this midterm exam. We've worked together to do it. Reach out to me with any questions and I'll be able to walk you through it, Mr. Schmidt, or any of the other world history teachers. I want you to be clear on how to do this so you're not bumbling through directions when you actually have your midterm exam in front of you. The main thing is you have to analyze the documents and answer these questions, and then you have to write this essay. You guys have been doing this all year, so I have full confidence in you that you will be able to do it. Any questions, reach out, send me an email, and I will be the one grading your essays, so just be comforted by that. Good luck in reviewing for your midterms and on your midterm exams as a whole. And I look forward to seeing what you guys write in these essays.